Good evening, parents, students, guardians, Goddard community, and welcome to the Robert H. Goddard High School of Communication Arts and Technology digital community presentation as we all prepare for the reopen and back to school on Monday, September 13th. I hope you guys all had a wonderful summer. I hope it was enriching. I hope it was a time of not just safety for all and your family, but also for a time of building lasting memories. I am so very excited that we are back to in-person learning. I'm just so excited to greet all of the students on Monday. We were so blessed to have the teachers with us today, which is Thursday, and tomorrow on Friday. And everyone is really excited to have all of our staff and students and teachers back to school. So again, welcome back. Now, with the excitement of coming back, it's very important to understand that there are still going to be differences, and those differences are in the relation to the health and safety of all because of the pandemic. And so even while we are excited about in-person learning and coming back, there are still things, very important things that we need to be mindful of, which is, of course, wearing masks, completing health screenings, maintaining social distance, because we want to foster safety for one another and for all. Now, I want to just share with you just some of the great things that we did this summer, because we had many opportunities during the summer to welcome students back into in-person learning and experiences through our Summer Rising programs. And over the summer, we had the honor and privilege to host 3 days in July just for our incoming ninth graders to take part in social emotional learning workshops by Elevate Education, and students engaged in time management, note-taking, goal setting, managing stress, supercharging their memory, all of these important social emotional learning study skills that will enable them to be academically and proficient this year, getting back to in-person learning. So this was just a wonderful time to meet students in the ninth grade and also for them to engage in these wonderful workshops. We also did something a little different this year where we held Jaguar orientation camp. This typically is only for ninth graders, but we did it for every single grade this year because we wanted to greet every student. We wanted to welcome them back to in-person learning. So every grade got the opportunity to participate in an activity in the gymnasium, which was a team building activity. They accessed different workshops from college planning to STEM, to art and social justice, and every day ended with delicious, hot, cheesy pizza. So it was just a wonderful time. It was incredible to meet the students. They RSVP'd prior to coming. They left with t-shirts and Goddard gear like pens and magazines and tumblers, and it was just a wonderful time to meet our students. And it was just great to see them, how comfortable they are to be back in school and how eager they are to be back in school. And here are just a few pictures that highlight what the students were doing, their excitement. If you go onto Goddard 308 onto our Instagram, you can see all of the different grades and the fun that they had during our orientation camp. Here are the students in the gymnasium, also walking the hallways, being given a tour. Here are just some of the staff that were involved in the orientation camps. And then we also gave every student a packet of information for the first day. Now, our school day starts from 7:20 and ends at 1:40. And there are some just changes that I want you to be aware of. The only reason we're asking students to arrive to school on Monday, September 13th at 7 o'clock is because we want time to the students to get adjusted. And also they're going to be in the schoolyard, and that's where their official programs are going to be distributed to them out. They will look for play cards with the initials to their last names. So the first letter of their last name. So if it's B, they'll look at the table from A to, let's say, D, and they'll say, okay, I'm Burgess, I'm going to go to this table and I'll get my program, obviously being socially distant, wearing a mask. And then basically around 7:18 or so, we're going to send students up to their classrooms and they're going to begin their day. And it's going to be a normal day of school, of course, socially distant to the best of their ability, wearing a mask, and just really having a great in for the first day. So in terms of health and safety, as we know, we're returning to school during a pandemic. And so it's very important that we emphasize the health and safety of all. And just some things to keep in mind. We know, and I'm sure you are aware, that masks are mandatory. That's really important to arrive to school each day with a mask. Also to maintain 3 feet of distance to the best of your ability. We know that's challenging, but we're just encouraging everyone to do that to the best of their ability. Though it's not required in the hallways, we're going to be encouraging students to implement a variety of different strategies so that they don't have to walk in crowded hallways, that they have many different options, whether that's waiting in the classroom a few minutes, waiting in a different portion of the hallway, going down one stairwell to the basement, coming up another stairwell. So that's very, very important to understand that there's options for them to have free-flowing experience in the hallways on their way to class. We have PPE in all the classrooms, 2 air purifiers in all classrooms. There'll be health screening always, every day upon entry. We are encouraging opportunities for vaccinations, which will take place at the school as well. And also there'll be testing that will be done bi-weekly for those who are unvaccinated. So these are all the safety and security steps that we have in place to keep us safe. Again, just in terms of mandatory mask wearing, this is really critical to understand that a face mask is providing protection to you and to those around you, and that you want to, again, where possible, maintain that 3 feet of distance. And keep in mind that a mask is part of the school attire and should be and must be appropriate for the school settings. Just as I just mentioned before, to enhance safety, every school will be randomly tested bi-weekly with vaccinated students. And also we're encouraging through a variety of signage and just announcements the importance of just not spreading germs by washing your hands often or avoiding close contact, covering cough and sneezes, and monitoring your daily health, which is critical. Again, if there's any sort of symptoms that a student might be experiencing, or really any individual, especially if they have a fever, the BRT will be activated. The individual will be immediately escorted to the isolation room, which is 324. The school nurse will be notified, and the school nurse will, of course, come, assess the individual, make appropriate medical decisions, and then the parent or family member will be contacted. The incident will be documented, and if there is an issue, typically we'll ask for a family member to come up and, again, to pick up their child. Just in terms of social distancing, just to keep in mind, again, social distancing is challenging. We have made sure that classrooms have been arranged to maximize social distancing. The passing procedures, as I mentioned, because again, our hallways are only 8 feet across. So there are pockets and places where it can get congested. So we're encouraging students to use different stairwells, walk to the basement, then come back up. We don't want students on the first and second floors because that's the middle school floors, but they can go to the basement and come up a different stairwell. We also are going to be holding lunch periods 1 minute longer to allow for more flow from class to class. Each student is encouraged when they're in the classroom to leave through the back door to minimize contact as students are coming in through the front door. And then also students may wait. They may wait in the classroom for a few more minutes or wait in different parts of the hallway where it's less congested until the numbers decrease. There's going to be no penalty for lateness, so students should not have any sort of anxiety or fear about being late to class. They need to be relaxed. We're just so happy that they're back, and we just want them to have a safe and wonderful year. Also, we've done some changes with the reduced lunchroom sizes. Typically, we would have 2 grades in a lunchroom. Now we have 1 grade per lunchroom. Period 3 will be for the 10th graders, period 4 for the 9th graders, and then period 8, if it's free in your program, 11th and 12th graders will be released at 12:51 since their instructional day is over. Also, we're encouraging recess during lunch and also recess during gym, where in terms of gym taking place outside, where there could be mask breaks and just fresh air. Not to mention that there's purifiers in the classrooms and there'll be things will be well ventilated. So we're really, we feel very starting the new year with those protocols. Just a reminder again, 8th period dismissal for 11th and 12th graders, 12:51. Permission slips were emailed out. It's also on our website. This must be completed and also handed in on the 13th or emailed to AP Landman. If that permission is not in, we're going to be asking those students to go to the cafeteria, have their lunch. They can choose to do the grab and go and be dismissed at 8th period, or they can sit in the cafeteria until 1:40. That's really up to them. But again, 11th and 12th graders, to reduce congestion in the school and to provide them an opportunity, a social emotional learning opportunity, students will be dismissed. Again, at just 11th and 12th graders, if they have an opening, if they have a lunch 8th period, just very, very important to understand. Also, just in terms of just the different scenarios that might take place in the school, this is just a simple chart to understand that. So for example, in the event that a student or a staff member or somebody is tested positive for COVID, if there was a full classroom quarantine, for example, and you're unvaccinated, well, then you will be doing, there'll be live synchronous instruction from home. If there was a partial classroom quarantine and unvaccinated, there would be asynchronous opportunities. If it was a full school quarantine, again, it would be live synchronous instruction as opposed to in-person. And if there was a partial class, but you're vaccinated, then you can return in person as long as you're not showing symptoms or have any symptoms. So it's just important to understand. If by chance we have to go remote, it's going to be exactly what we did last year, which was a very successful model. We did periods 1 to 8, like a normal school day, 7:20 to 1:40. It was all live synchronous instruction. And that's what we would do if we did have to go remote, and or there was a snow day or other things that would present itself. So very, very important. We would be using Zoom as well. So that's important. And Google Classroom as our learning management system. So on morning arrival, students will be coming back of the school. What you can see here in the courtyard, there'll be tables set up and programs will be distributed. We have a marker set along the floor and the ground level across the schoolyard where students can stand, receive their program, and then we will have students go up to their classrooms and start their day. Every student, and as well as staff member or anyone entering the building, has to complete a health screening form. That's the QR codes that are outside the building as well, and you scan it, and then you complete it and answer a series of questions, and then you will show that you have been cleared to enter the building by showing this to our restorative justice deans, restorative justice coordinators, and AP Landman before you enter. Breakfast will still be in the cafeteria, 3 feet of distance, of course, and you can also do a grab and go. And then there's signs. We have a number of signs throughout the building about social distancing, mask wearing, washing your hands. There's only 3 people permitted in a bathroom at a time. There'll be a bathroom monitor signing people in. So that's really important. They'll be locked, of course, during passing. And then the first 10 minutes, the last 10 minutes of class, they're not available. But again, bathrooms will be available, but it's just a little bit of a different routine in terms of signing in to the restrooms. But there's signs for wearing masks, how to cover your cough, how to properly wear your mask. We have PPE in all of the classrooms. Again, we have 2 purifiers in all the classrooms, well ventilated. We have antibacterial lotion in the classrooms. Airflow is very good. We have 3 feet of signs posted And again, just the importance, and we'll be sharing this with students again, all of this, but it's important to see this as well, just in terms of properly wearing masks. And we know it's going to be a challenge. Just in terms of a vaccination reminder, vaccination is one of the most important steps you can take to protect yourself and your family for COVID-19. There are opportunities to become vaccinated. The site is here, as well as being vaccinated here at the building. We're not managing that per se, but there'll be opportunities and we'll notify you of that as well. The three most important things to really understand when you're coming back to school is that the pandemic is not over. You need to wear a mask, practice social distancing, and avoid congregating to the best of your ability. And that's difficult because we know students want to be together. So that's always a challenge. And again, 8th period dismissal, 11th and 12th graders, if you have the permission to slip in, as well as the free, the lunch period, 8th period on your program. Normal dismissal for the students is 8th period at 1:40. The 10th grade lunch will be period 3. 9th grade lunch is period 4, and that will be on their program. Again, just a reminder for the first day, arrive early, 7 o'clock. Bring a pen, a notebook, folder. You'll receive your syllabi from your teachers who will explain to you the program, any sort of materials that you might need, but you can keep it very, very simple and low stress on Monday, your first day. We are going to be implementing some best practices like AIS Fridays, where Fridays will be a time of review and tutoring and support in person. So we're really excited about that. Also, we're excited about the DOE grading scale, which takes in the importance of equity, accuracy, and social emotional well-being. And it's about, if I could sum it up, it's about a focus on quality, not quantity, and providing students an opportunity to do their best. And it's about support and not penalizing students. So we recognize the trauma that people have been through. My prayers are with all of you and what you've been through economically, socially, family. And we're here. We have our wellness team with a social worker who are available to your children at any time. If they want someone to talk to, we have safe places here, brave spaces here to really support and nurture all of your children. So we are here for you. I would recommend all families to make sure you get onto our Goddard 308 Instagram page where you can just see the most current information. We will still update things obviously on our goddardhs308.org website. As you can see, this is the most current pop-up screen and the lunch information sheet is there, and also DOE family update letter and just welcoming students back. On Fridays at Goddard, we have Spirit Fridays where we want students to be wearing Goddard gear. And also after school programs are going to be starting soon, and that will all be forthcoming. I want to wish everyone a happy weekend. I hope that you are excited, students and families, about coming back on Monday. I know we are. We're prepared. We're excited. We just want you to have an amazing year. And if you need anything, we're here. So again, thank you for listening and have a wonderful weekend, and look forward to seeing you on September 13th at 7 o'clock. Thank you.